right, today we're going to address the question, are nuclear warheads in the Bible? First off, we need to start with a little bit of a precursor. And I ask you, what animal is this? If you say a wolf, you would be mistaken. If you say a saber-toothed tiger, you'd be mistaken. If this little thing at the end of the nose, you might say that it's an anteater. Once again, you're mistaken. This is a European man in the Middle Ages trying to draw an elephant without ever seeing one. This is exactly what you would expect whenever you're dealing with prophecy of future events. It's sort of what I believe also happened whenever you're dealing with the Clash of the Titans. It's not likely that they were using lightning from their hands, but instead something different, just like the Indians who said that Americans shot fire from their sticks. The reality is that's nothing like what we were doing. With that being said, let's dive into Zechariah chapter 5, or Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and behold, a flying roll. The Hebrew word here is Megillah. It is a scroll, but it's a unique kind of scroll. So we notice that it's up, it's flying. So if you Google Megillah, this is the first image you will find, and this is exactly what is written at Hebrew at this point, is this image right here, a flying Megillah. That's what it's referring to. So it's obviously not referring to a scroll that you would read, but something different. Here we notice that it looks similar to a missile, and it also flies. So now it's flying, it looks like a missile. Zechariah 5:2, and he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. A cubit is 17.5 inches to 20 inches. That makes the length of this roll to be 30 to 33 feet. That makes the diameter of this roll to be 5 feet, because breadth is circumference. So this is extremely unlikely that he's still talking about a roll, which you need two hands to operate. It's just extremely unlikely, and a matter of fact, you can completely rule it out. Do you think Zechariah is seeing a flying 30-foot tall scroll? No. So, how does that apply today? Well, if you look right here, this is the human, the size of a human. This is the size of common ballistic missiles. If you average out that size, it's going to come somewhere to around this length with a circumference of 5 feet. That matches. So Zechariah 5:3, read on. This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. So it is described as a curse of the earth. Anyone think that nuclear weapons are a blessing? Zechariah 5:4, and it will bring forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall consume away with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof. You'll find a similar passage in Zechariah 14:12 when referring to this very same thing. So now it's a flying roll that's flying in the sky. It's 30 feet long, 5 feet in diameter. It's just not likely that this is referring to a roll by blowing things up. Now it's consuming timber and the stones thereof. Zechariah 5:5. He said unto me, Lift up now thine eyes. Once again, looking up. And I said, What is it? So now he's being very clear. He doesn't know what he's looking at. He's telling you he doesn't know what he's looking at. He says it's an ephah that goeth forth. He said, moreover, this is their resemblance through all the earth. So first off, he gives an ephah, and an ephah is a measurement. And it's something that's never been seen before, but it's a resemblance through all the earth. So there's many of them. Once again, this fits the description of a ballistic missile. Let's dive into the word ephah. It's a dry measure of quantity equal to 3 seahs. Well, that's 40 imperial gallons, that's 9 imperial gallons or 40 liters. So the receptacle for measuring or holding that amount. It's not just a basket, it's a measurement. So it is a basket that can carry 40 liters. So it's not large enough to carry a woman, as many people would suppose. This has caused immense confusion in the past, and I'll explain that. We're the first generation to be able to understand this prophecy. This right here is an ephah. That's the size of an ephah. That's the size of a bath, 5.8 gallons. Remember, 9 is equivalent to an imperial gallon. So just a little bit larger than this, and you get this exact size. So if we put it into inches, if you're American, 17 inches cubed comes out to 4,913 cubic inches. It's almost the same exact dimensions given. Then it comes up to the passage where it says a talent of lead. And this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. And this is where the confusion comes in. And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. So a talent, this comes out to 75 pounds, and a talent is literally a round loaf, and it is also a measurement. So a talent of lead equals a 7-inch circumference. This is too big for the illustration that I'm going to be giving, but a uranium density is 19.1, while lead density is 11.34. A talent of uranium is 5 inches in circumference, which is the exact dimension mentioned previously right here. That's 5 inches. So now you come to this point. What about lead? That's not the right element. Well, if you eliminate the radioactivity of uranium or plutonium or any of the EOMs, it'll end up resulting in the base element, which is none other than lead. So this is as accurate as he could have gotten for his time. So let's ask this question. Which one of these is nuclear? There's only one thing that really gives it away, and that's the glove right here. That's how you know this is nuclear and this isn't. They both look very similar to lead. So that's as good as Zechariah could have gotten. Zechariah 5:7, and behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. So this word woman is not inaccurately translated. It is the correct word. Isha or Isha, they're the same exact word, spelled the exact same way, but there's two different meanings. So there's one is a burnt offering made by fire, or a fire offering. The other one is a woman, a wife, or a female. So you can imagine how the translators would have thought this was a woman, as a basket would have burnt up. So we're going to use fire offering. And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a fire offering that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. It is a curse, it is a fire offering. It flies in the sky, looks like a Megillah or a roll. It's 30 feet long, 5-inch circumference. It consumes timber and stone. This is wickedness, and he cast it into the midst of the ephah, and he cast the weight of lead upon the mouth thereof. Now he is describing nuclear fission. Let me show you how this works. Before the explosion, you have the TNT, which will ignite the uranium. The uranium will then explode into the uranium core, or plutonium or uranium. You can do it right over here. You have plutonium and uranium. It doesn't really matter which one it is. These two connect and collide, causing fission. And you say, well, why is this so important? Because we don't know of any other element that this is the case. Only uranium, plutonium, and the EOM type weapons do this. Throw two rocks together, they're not going to create an explosion. Throw whatever you want to together, it's not going to create an explosion. Yet he is telling you how to detonate a nuclear bomb. It's just unbelievably accurate. Here's some more examples. If you decide to use a conventional chemical explosive, subcritical pieces of uranium-235 combine to create a nuclear weapon. Throw the weight of the lead into the lead. This is as close as he could have gotten for his day. Then lifted I up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, there came out two fire offerings, and the wind was in their wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork. Now it's verifying, saying that there are two fire offerings in the same weapon. And now it has wings of a stork. And it means to lift and to carry. So now behold, there came out two offerings, for they had wings like that of a stork, and they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. So now they're lifting this up and carrying it. Do you still think it's referring to a scroll? Then said I to the angel that talked with me, Whither do these bear the ephah? Where are they going? And he said unto me, To build it an house in the land of Shinar, and it shall be established and set there upon her own base to Shinar, Babylon, Iran, Iraq. This area is the area it's referring. So what will it look like? I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into my house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and with the stones thereof. Again, Zechariah 14:12 mentions this plague. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people who have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongues shall consume away in their mouth. So let me ask you, do you still think this is just some ambiguous thing? If you say it's not a nuclear weapon, you have to explain what it is. And there is not a single error as far as nuclear ballistic missiles. Not a single error. So the question is, if it's not a nuclear ballistic missile, what is it?